What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. And after the tremendous disappointment of last episode, we move forward into the Season 6 off-season as we get prepped for what will be an interesting Season 7. Again, a very bittersweet ending to the last off-season, or to the last postseason, but we got to move on. The Boston Bruins get the number 1 overall pick. Detroit with the 4th and 5th pick. That's going to be pretty damn good for us. Or for them. For us, it'll be good for them. I don't know what we're going to do. We still have a ton of draft picks that we have to figure out what we are doing with. I don't know what I'm going to do this episode. We have no retired players. As you would expect, we do have a pretty young team. But let's see here. Malkin, Perry, Nash. I'm not going to name everybody off, but some pretty big names that have retired. And again, once you kind of get down to 0, it's kind of bullshit because you'll end up seeing players that do indeed have NHL games, but not according to the sim engine. Goalies Marc-Andre Fleury, Corey Crawford, Thomas Greiss, Anton Khudobin end up retiring. We will edit the trade block just to make sure I don't have to do anything, which, can be an issue. But if I had to make a bet of saying what I would do as we move forward into this offseason, there's a very strong chance that Jaden Schwartz and Matt Duchene won't be here anymore. I'm not sure who the replacements would be, but we will find out. So getting into the draft, allow me to just take a look at how many picks we actually have, because I'm going to need to definitely, I have to get rid of some of them. It's just a matter of how much we are able to trade up. But looking here too, Jaden Schwartz and Matt Duchene both have some pretty decent trade value that I should be able to do something with. I'm just not going to do that until the at least the free agent period, because again, I want to make sure that we can get Seth Jones back. But let's see here. As far as picks go, as you can see, we have to get rid of the 4th round and later, but we can also look to trade up. That is exactly what I'm going to do. So give me a minute, and we'll see what happens. Now, guys, I told you that there was a strong chance I would do this. I also said I'd probably wait, but no. Now's the right time. Now's the right time. Jaden Schwartz and Matt Duchene, along with some 5th-round picks later on down the line, are going to Edmonton for Nolan Patrick. Now, we're just going to cut Benoit Pouliot. We had to do it because of the cap situation. But we have picked up Nolan Patrick, someone who I've tried to get in the past. Now, he doesn't have the best face-off rating, but a Lutzer Patrick 1-2 punch could be exactly what we need as you get a look at his stats, his puck skills, skating, shooting, 96 offensive awareness. The only thing really is that he'd probably be a better right wing than a center. But even then, if I really wanted to right now, I could go and look at getting another center. But of course, you have to remember our right wings are Laine and Puljujarvi, who, despite the fact, it's not looking like they're going to get much better than what they already are, as I should say, I'm not too concerned. So Nolan Patrick is the newest member of the Quebec City Nordiques, the 1st overall pick from the 2017 draft. Has a hell of a contract on him, but god damn it, we needed to make a big move, so I made it. Now, I've also made a ton of trades for the draft picks. None bigger than this. I was turning 7ths into 6ths all the way down the line until we just had 2nds. Almost a third of the entire 2nd round was ours and our 3rd round picks. And now I've made this trade. Our pick in the 1st round, 29th overall, along with Florida and Minnesota's 2nd to Boston for the number 1 overall pick. Now I'll get you a look at what our draft selection still looks like. As you can see, it's just 1st and 2nds. I am going to try and get another 1st round pick. I probably, honestly, the 2 seconds was the first thing I had tried So I genuinely do not know if I could have gone even less for that pick. But really, I don't care. I don't care. I am pissed off at how we lost. I am going on a rampage, and I am determined that this team wins the cup next year. So I don't really care what it costs here. We need high-value prospects. I am, without a doubt, getting another top 5 pick. I don't care what it takes. We're not going to have that many picks this year, but they're all going to be high picks. 4 second-rounders? All right, that might be a little bit too high for Arizona. But let's see here. Who else? We have the Islanders and 2 Detroit picks. So we will see if we can get in on any of those picks. Like I said, obviously now we have the number 1 overall pick. We have Nolan Patrick. Big things are happening for this franchise. Are 3 second-rounders good enough for the Islanders? I'm willing to go 4. 4 is my limit. We'll give them ours since it'll be a lower. 4 is the limit. Will they take it? No. So we will move on to Detroit. I probably shouldn't be doing this part of it live, but that is okay. So they have 3 picks. They have theirs, Vancouver's, and Calgary's. We'll try to get theirs first. Let's see. That won't go through, so we'll try to get Vancouver's. And if this doesn't go through, maybe I will just hold on to these second-round picks just to get a little bit of depth in there. And actually, let me make a jump cut because this could take a while. And we have found a trade. 3 second-round picks to the Florida Panthers for their first, which I believe is the 6th overall pick, which isn't too bad. So now I'm going to work on Minnesota to try to get the 7th. Of course, the rule was, and actually Minnesota's not looking to trade theirs, so we won't do that. The rule was no more than 3 first-round picks in a single draft, which hasn't been the case. Obviously, that was the case in a lot of seasons with the Vancouver Canucks. That has yet to be a factor in this series until now, where I'm just losing my mind, and I am determined to get us some high picks. And we have another trade. It is our 3rd first-round pick. 2 second-round picks this year, Phillies and Washington's, along with Arizona's 3rd next year for the Devils' 1st. So we have the 1st overall pick, the 7th, and the 10th. This episode is probably just shaping up to be the draft. So we have acquired 3 first-round picks and Nolan Patrick. Now you look at the draft picks we have. We have the 3 first-rounders. We have 3 second-rounders. And that is it. We had nearly 20 picks. We are down to just those for this draft. But we are looking for some big prospects that could hopefully result in us getting some players. But here you see the amount of trades. Detroit trading with Boston to trade up, trading with Anaheim, Vancouver, Boston again, Carolina, the Edmonton trade for Nolan Patrick. We just kept trading up until we eventually were able to get these trades. So we have the number 1 overall pick. We cannot afford to swing and miss. And I think the choice is fairly evident, considering there's someone with exact elite potential in his name. Kat Ritu from the Ottawa 67s. I mean, I could try to be like, oh, maybe Casey Keefe. Although, more than anything, I'd mainly look at Riley Caffrey. But we're going to go with Ritu and just hope that the exact elite isn't a lie. And he ends up being medium elite. So trading a bunch of second-round picks to Boston to get him is more than worth it, in my opinion. Dublowitz ended up being elite. Caffrey ended up being elite. Camper ended up being elite. So really, if I wanted to, we could have held off on getting Ritu and just traded up in the top 4, and we would have been fine. But Ritu is our newest defenseman, who knows, might make someone we already have on defense a bit obsolete. Now, as far as our next pick, we have Charles Ricci, a power forward. He's 20, though, so I think I'll hold off. Kelly Ivani, 19. Robert Holmstrom. Then we have Trent Niedermeyer and Vaclav Smolanak. And again, I think we'll just go with the exact top 6 and hope he is better. Trent Niedermeyer, another defenseman. And case in point, someone mentioned that in the last draft episode. Go with exact. Exact doesn't always work. Trent Niedermeyer, a swing and a miss. Instead of him, we could have had Ricci, who was medium elite, or Avani, or Holmqvist. So for the second year in a row, we kind of swing and miss. This one's a little bit worse because we traded up to get him. But I'm not going to take Smolinac because, Jesus, we already have a couple of guys. I mean, we could because he's top 10 listed and just hope to trade him. Valeri Varlamov is there. We have Stefan Traverse. And who is this guy? Patrick Christek. Oh, so do we go with the guy projected to be inside the top 10? Or do we go with Stefan Traverse? We'll go with the guy inside the top 10. I didn't know they were all defenders, but it is what it is. We'll hope that he's half decent. And he's medium elite. So trading up all those picks, we end up getting 2 elite defensemen and a high top 6, who, in fairness, could jump to top 4. You know, sometimes the potentials change before you get to the start of the season. They'll change in the preseason. So overall, I'm all right with that. It was risky to trade up as much as we did. It could have gone better with that one swing and miss, but obviously we made the right choice. Winnipeg gets an elite goalie, quite a few top 6 guys. Traverse was medium top 6, so we made the right choice, with the exception of taking Trent Niedermeyer. And then when the second round pick, obviously none of these names will be familiar, so we will just make these picks, and that will be the episode. Now, immediately, we have a playmaker here, Tiny Walton. High top 9 at 19. He's a playmaker. I'm not even going to second guess it. Tiny Walton will be our pick, and he's low top 6. I'm not totally against that for a late second rounder. Better than the alternatives, so not too bad. Who else do we have here? We have Justin Fair. We also have Berg. Yeah, we're going to go with Justin Fair. Second rounder pick, or second round projected. Medium top 9 is not terrible, and I believe that we have one more pick, and indeed we do, so this will be the last pick of this draft for us. I mean, aside from that one swing and miss, it's been decent for us. So let's see here. I might go with Krog, Daniel Krog. No, we're going to go with Daniel Krog and just see what happens, because we obviously have some good defensemen on this draft. He ends up being low top 9. So overall, was this draft amazing for us? I mean, we did get 2 elite potential guys. Obviously, when you trade up into the top 10 to get 3 picks inside the top 10, you hope for a little bit better. So in a way, it's a bit of a swing and miss, and that's kind of frustrating. But we walk away from this draft with 2 elite defensemen and Nolan Patrick. Overall, I'm all right with it, and we will hope that these 3 guys end up being decent. We will quickly go to the re-sign phase. I'll check them out, and then in the next episode, we will finish up the off-season, where big changes are still to come. Of course, someone like Seth Jones still needs to be re-signed, although I'm sure that will no longer be an issue. But looking at these contracts, yeah, we have $15 million in cap space. We should be fine to re-sign whoever we need to. That includes Zarna, all these guys. You know, I won't do that right now because we got a lot of guys that need to be released. But Fair ends up being medium top 9, 67 overall. Krog ends up being 65 overall, low top 9. Niedermeyer ends up being a 67 at high top 6. Ritu, medium elite, 67 overall. Smolinac is a 70. And then Tiny Walton, low top 6 at a 65. So no immediate game changers like Isaac Lutzer, but some decent prospects that could turn into something. And it's not like we gave up a great player. We just gave up draft picked, we gave up quantity. We had so many draft picks. Didn't quite pan out for us in an amazing way. Like, we didn't get a steal like an 85 overall 18-year-old rookie. But it at least gets us some more pieces. But that is it for this one, guys. I cannot wait to see the response to the trading up and, just who we took in the draft, and of course the Nolan Patrick trade. In the next episode, we finish up the offseason and get prepped for Season 7. As always, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to support the channel by any way you deem necessary. And I'll see you guys in the next one.